Hello everybody, Maven here, and I got two questions for you. One, do you play on controller in Crucible? And two, do you enjoy hand cannons, pulse rifles, scout rifles, and especially sidearms? If you answered yes, then the Dragon's Shadow is your new best friend. Now, this video isn't going to be anything original. I'm sure every PvP content creator out there has already done a Dragon Shadow video, and I've seen plenty of them, but those are all coming from M&K players. Today, I'm giving you a controller player's point of view to emphasize why you, as a controller player, should consider using the Dragon Shadow, especially if you like sidearms. And there's a big reason for that, so let's talk about it. Hope you enjoy. Shout out to our sponsor, Advanced GG, the #1 gaming supplement in the world. Use code MAVEN at checkout for 10% off, and you have until Monday to take advantage of their Labor Day sale going on, which is buy one, get one 50% off. Link down below. Thank you. So the Dragon's Shadow got a multitude of overhauls in the Edge of Fate, so let's check them out. It says your weapons ready quicker and are more stable. Dodging temporarily increases this benefit, reloads your equipped weapon from reserves, grants improved movement speed, and increases your class ability stat. Now there's a lot to explain here. So it essentially grants 100 handling and reload speed, which it doesn't tell you. It does not increase your class ability stat despite saying so, probably a bug. And something I recently found out, which I don't know how I've missed this for years, but when you dodge and get that Wrath Metal Mail buff, which lasts 15 seconds by the way, during that time, you get Stompy's movement. I never knew that until like 2 weeks ago. It gives you the bonus sprint speed and extended slide distance, which is awesome. That was literally the only reason I was considering not using the Dragon Shadow and sticking with my Stompies, but now that I know that it does that, I'm much more inclined to use it. But the creme de la creme, the main reason that we want to use the Dragon Shadow is that it increases your stability stat by a lot. I'll show you some clips of me comparing the stability with and without Dragon Shadow with a plethora of different hand cannons, pulse rifles, scout rifles, and sidearms, and you'll see that this thing grants a ridiculous amount of stability. Some weapons are total laser beams and don't move at all, and without the Dragon Shadow they kick like a mule. Some sidearms go just above those double doors, and then without Dragon Shadow they literally jump all the way to the ceiling. It's kind of wild. And what's even cooler is that Dragon Shadow just grants stability passively. You gain bonus stability literally just for having it equipped, but it actually gives you even more stability while that 15-second Wrath Metal Mail buff is active. Now, the exact amount of stability the Dragon Shadow grants is unknown. There's no information about it on the API or the data compendium. A Reddit user suggests it's around 10 stability passively and about 30 when Wrath Metal Mail is active. And Google AI suggests it's around 20 to 30 passively and even more than that when Wrath Metal Mail is active. Either way, this effect is incredible for controller players. I would argue that stability is the most important stat on controller in Crucible, even more so than range, unless your name is Pure Chill. Range won't matter if you can't even land your shots. And please don't turn this into an argument in the comments because I know this is a hot take, but I personally believe that M&K players have always had a massive advantage because they can just dump all their stats into range and not have to worry about investing any stability. Us controller players have to invest a ton of stability and take a hit on range to even try to challenge gunfights. So the Dragon Shadow is kind of evening the playing field here for controller players because now we can invest in range too. And our exotic will remedy our need for stability. And any amount of extra stability makes a massive difference for semi-auto primary weapons. If you're using full auto weapons like an auto rifle or an SMG, stability barely makes a difference, so maybe just stick with the Stompies. But even a 10 stability difference is extremely noticeable for all semi-auto archetypes. But I think the archetypes that feel it the most are 100% gonna be hand cannons and sidearms. It's kind of frightening how drastic the difference is between a hand cannon with 80 stability versus one with 90. Same with sidearms, it's kind of night and day. And the Dragon Shadow has kind of opened up a ton of new possibilities for controller players, especially with exotics like the Ace of Spades or the Thorn as just a couple of examples that come to mind. Exotics that are usually much more viable in M&K due to the low stability, but now we controller players can finally control them. In the background gameplay, I used a plethora of different weapons in PvP. I was gonna grab graphics of all of them to put on screen, but screw that because there's a lot, so I'll just name them off and you can use your imagination. I used the Cryosthesia, Allied Demand, Better Devils, Patron of Lost Causes, Randy's Throwing Knife, Fang of Earute, Rat King, Boudica C, Something New, Empirical Evidence, the new Faustus Decline, and the last Thursday, Forge's Pledge, Adorative, Stars and Shadow, Forgiveness, Yesterday's Question, Igneous Hammer, Heliocentric, Anonymous Autumn, Swift Verdict, Division, and probably more I'm missing. If I grabbed graphics for all of those, it would have taken hours. So those are just some weapons that I used in a gameplay session I had yesterday for the background gameplay. There's plenty more awesome options that you could use that would benefit from the Dragon Shadow greatly, such as things like the Symmetry, No Time to Explain, Devil's Ruin, Graviton Spike, literally every hand cannon. The sky's the limit. Seriously, if you never try the Dragon Shadow, go into the shooting range right now, grab your favorite sidearms, and just see how stable they are after you dodge. You'll actually be excited to go into the Crucible to try it out. Not gonna lie, I've been very burnt out of the Crucible the past 3 months, and I've barely been playing it until recently when Trials came back. And this was the first time I actually felt some excitement of going back into the Crucible because the Dragon Shadow opened up this whole new world of possibilities for me that it kind of felt like a new experience. Anyways, with the exotic broken down, let's now go over our build for today. So you could technically use the Dragon Shadow on any subclass, but since we have to dodge before interactions, it makes a lot of sense to go on Void because you can go invis with Vanishing Step before your engagements. And this is why I use Marksman Dodge instead of Gambler's Dodge, despite Dragon Shadow already reloading your weapons upon dodging, simply because I want the uptime of it to be the best it can be. Plus, to be honest, I've been very unimpressed with smoke bombs since their nerf, but you can run Gambler's Dodge if you want. Secondly, we got Trapper's Ambush as another avenue of going invisible. The only reason you might want to consider Gambler's Dodge, by the way. So we can make sure we always have that invis uptime in the few seconds that we won't have our dodge. And for our fragments, we got Starvation for Devour, which should be extremely easy to proc with Reaper and a class item. And this will allow us to go on rampages with kill clip weapons or any weapon with kill perks. And then we got Persistence to increase the duration of our Devour as well as our invis. Then we got Vigilance, so we can get a free overshield when we barely win our gunfights. And finally, Leeching to heal after winning our punch fights. And onto our mods, it's nothing special, a very basic PvP setup with a targeting mod, loader, and unflinching for both of our primaries of our choice, in-flight compensator, absolution, recuperation, and enhanced athletics on the boots, and finally Reaper, Bomber, and outreach on the class item. For your stats, it's really up to you. In the gameplay, I was using 180 in my class stat, so I can get an overshield to chow with after dodging, but the capacity of that overshield is watered down in PvP compared to PvE, so it isn't totally worth it, but it does give you a slight edge in some gunfights. It's kind of like a built-in Worm Husk if you think about it, albeit a little bit less effective. But if you didn't care for the overshield, I'd probably try to reach 200 in either weapons to do more damage or health to be tankier. It's your choice, and that about does it for the build. Now, is this my new main build in the Crucible? Yes and no. I'm a fusion main through and through, which is better with stompies. I have well over 15,000 kills or more across all my PvP fusions in my vault, and I don't see that stopping anytime soon. Although I will say I am very unhappy with this special ammo change Bungie recently implemented into Trials, and I've been rocking double primaries lately because of that. And I can tell you that whenever I am not running a fusion, 9 times out of 10 I'm rocking a sidearm. Aside from that, it's usually an SMG, and I almost never use shotties. So yeah, I can say whenever I'm not rocking a fusion, I'll likely be rocking Dragon Shadow for the foreseeable future. This exotic gave me a newfound love for weapons I previously didn't like due to their low stability. I haven't tried Ace of Spades yet, but I'm excited to give that a spin. The Better Devils honestly got a huge W out of this because it can get a fair amount of range along with the perk Slice, which can help you win your gunfights. But my problem is that my roll only had like 70 stability, but now it's essentially 100. And the new Faustus Decline sidearm I was actually extremely impressed with. That thing shreds and feels amazing and easy to use. I want to farm the heck out of that thing for a roll with rangefinder and kill clip with good parts. Throw on a high optic zoom mod on that baby and you'll be gunning people from like 20 meters with it. I can see myself rocking that thing for a while. So anyways, I'm rambling. That's going to do it for this one. If you'd like to try out the build, as always, a dim loadout link to it will be down below in the description and also the pinned comment. And if you got anybody who are hunter mains who play controller, consider sharing this video with them. Perhaps this is something they might want to try out. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, be sure to hit the like button and drop a comment because it helps out a ton. And if you are new here, please consider subscribing. Would love to have you here for more Edge of Fate content on the way. And I will catch you in the next video. See you later.